This could be huge. Manages to find them. Welcome back to the final Playday for OCN, Playday number 7. 2 games have been wrapped up and done. Chiefs, they're in the playoffs. Wildcard, they're in the bottom 2. Those have been certified. Of course, we've got 2 more matches still to be played. And 2 of those matches, guys, of course, still dictate who's going to make playoffs.
Yeah, the action is just never ending here in OCN. Very excited for the final 2 games. We've already had 2 really exciting ones so far, and I'm sure these 2 will probably only bring it up to another level.
I'm pumped. The heart rate pumping. You know what else can get it pumping as well? Bit of cardio work that you can get done over at Snap Fitness 24/7 as well. At any time, we can go right after the broadcast. Me and you guys going to pump some weights. Don't forget, guys, to take advantage of Snap Fitness Australia's latest offer. It's $4 per week for your first 4 weeks at any Snap Fitness gym in Australia. So for more information, !SNAP in the chat, and you can get a juicy bonus there. And I definitely know that me and Guz are going to do at some point some sort of Snap Fitness stream. Can't wait to pump some iron.
Show the big guns, shout out, that's not happening. Ticker man, no, we've been through this. No.
Big thank you to Snap
Flex
Fitness.
No.
Awesome.
Yeah, thanks, Snap. You guys are the best. Hey, what's that? Can we get a muscle percentage analysis on that, please, production?
Take it away, guys.
What do you want to talk about? What are we talking about? I don't know.
Our next matchup. I think
about
that's
the match. Ruffle and Order. Is it ready? Boom. Yeah, there we go. Maybe I should be the host. I know what I'm doing. Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
This should be a banging matchup. Of course, big playoff implications for this one heading into tonight. Order were, of course, sitting 3rd, but that has now changed. They'll be dropped down due to the Chiefs just coping at 3 points against Wildcard. And then Roflcopter, on the other hand, they've had a bit of a rough season. It started off well for them, and they were first for a little bit, but now they've dropped down to 5th, and they'll be looking to bounce back and secure their position in the playoffs.
Yes, well, we've of course had some results now that have already taken place, most notably the Chiefs. Now, what that has now done is secured our 4 teams, which means there's only 1 spot left, 1 incy spot. It's spot number 5, which Roflcopter currently occupy on 9 points. Now, that sounds like good. You're like, oh, but Xenox, what's the issue? Roflcopter in 5th place. They got playoffs secured. They don't. Of course, there's a team that's below them that's going to be playing after this called Rhythm, and if Rhythm get all 3 points, they will then jump above Ruffle. Now, for Roflcopter's sake, it's actually pretty good. A win secures playoffs, an overtime win also secures playoffs, an overtime loss now also secures playoffs, guys. So they're in a pretty good spot. In fact, they're in the exact same spot the Chiefs were in the prior matchup. Now, if they lose, the only way that they miss playoffs is if Rhythm get all 3 points. So a loss here in regular time leaves a door ajar for Rhythm. Outside of that, though, Roflcopter should hopefully be flying into the playoffs.
Indeed. Very small window that they do not make the playoffs, but you do not want to leave anything to chance. If this league has proven anything in stage 1, do not leave anything up to chance, because underdogs will always take that opportunity.
Yep, let's go and look at their opponents for this matchup. Of course, Order are looking pretty sharp, and so sharp that there's an opportunity now presented to them for top spot, number 1 seeding, 15 points, provided they get all 3 in this match. So that's something that they actually have brewing here. Now, an overtime win as well would also be enough, as I believe they've got the tiebreaker against Knights. They do, just quickly confirmed that one. So 2 points or 3 points will secure top spot for Order. That's it. Of course, they're already in the playoffs. If they get nothing from this, though, and somehow Roflcopter win and get all 3 points, though, guys, guess what happens? Order will go to 5th, and the last game will be a dead rubber, which is a little bit boring. So we don't want that to happen.
Yeah, I mean, 5th place would still, of course, get this team in the playoffs, but not ideally positioned for the gauntlet format. If you finish 1st, well, then you're at least guaranteed 2nd when it comes to the weekend, which is where you want to be. Quick shout out to Jack Daddy. He turned 24 today, so Woo! Happy birthday to Jack Dad. He made a tweet saying, "Where are the wrinkles? Time to game." So, I mean, he's looking pretty fresh in the little pic that he posted, and hopefully he's looking good in the server.
Let me just write my happy birthday from Guz and Xenox live from OCN. Done.
Are you in Twitch? Are you in Twitch chat?
No, Twitter.
Ah, okay. Cool.
Just a live tweet. To send that one over. Let's move things forward though, guys, of course, and see where this match is going to be playing. I think I got that call in my ear, and I did, of course.
It's not Clubhouse. Thank you,
It's
Order.
not Clubhouse.
Yeah.
Close. Does start with a C though. It's Consulate, which is pretty nice to see, guys. Of course, we haven't seen much Consulate this season of OCN. Trying to get the stat once, which I believe was the other night, wasn't it?
Yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday between Bliss and Wildcard. Bliss took Wildcard to quote-unquote their map, or at least it was historically, and Bliss blew them out of the water. So, wow, this sets up for a really exciting game. Both Ruffle and Order love to play some cheeky, aggressive siege. Consulate facilitates that, and I don't see any reason why that won't be the case here. I'm keen. Consulate is, as I always affectionately call it, a bit of a monkey map, but a bit of variety, which is what you love to see. If Clubhouse had a snuck through again, I think you would have been solid casting.
I'm gonna see if I can. Does this work? Not sure. Oh, look at this. There you go. Live little update.
Oh, it's from the lobby. Oh,
Thanks, lads. Live from the lobby. I'm not sure if this is working out.
No, it's working. It's working.
Yeah,
yeah.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, awesome. So hopefully he's ready to go in game rather than too busy on the old Twitterverse. Look, final thoughts before we hop into Consulate. I know you're excited that we get something a little bit different here because we did think tonight was going to be the Clubhouse Oregon night. So far, it was shaping up to be that way. Never mind. No final thoughts from Guards.
Nope.
We're going straight in. Don't worry about him. He doesn't matter. Roflcopter still fighting for their playoff lives. For Order, top spot is beckoning. We'll see if they can capitalize here on Consulate.
Well, heading into the ban phase, at least on Clubhouse, I've had a lot to talk about in terms of history between teams, but here there is basically nothing when it comes to Consulate, so who knows what will be brought out. I assume there'll be bans that will facilitate aggression, so I wouldn't be surprised if Order follow up the Thatcher ban with a Nomad that would allow a lot of the runouts that would otherwise be shut down. We'll have to wait and see. Could be something a bit more left of field. No, it will be Nomad, so I've read into that one all right. In terms of defense, I wouldn't be surprised if it's your mirrors, maybe a hard breach denial. We could see maybe the trend continuing of a mute ban to shut down some of the roam extensions, but that's probably a little bit left of field. It'll actually be a projectile denial in the end, so we might have taken out.
Last one, you would have to assume should be Valkyrie.
If it's not, they'll have to play IQ. Yeah, taken down. That does leave the mirror on the board, which is fun on Consulate. Quite a few strategic options you can bring to the table with her. We'll have to see whether or not, of course, these teams elect to play into that. Ruffle starting on the defense first will be positioned well to introduce that to the matchup if they so desire. Second floor, though, probably the one site we're not going to see it, but as I say that, OJ actually does tease it. But that might be to lure Order into a false sense of security, thinking it's downstairs. Maybe he will stick it. I don't know. I wouldn't think so. Yeah, no, he doesn't. Yeah, okay, good. I thought he was big braining me there. OJ doesn't big brain Guz. In fact, I sent him a DM today saying I hope he loses, and he wasn't very happy.
Oh, jeez.
Because he said that. What did he say? Let me just quickly find this DM. I got it up on my second. He said, "Thanks to my favorite caster at Manic in a DM." I mean, that's just not on.
Manic?
Yeah, I know. Exactly. Just absolutely unbelievable.
Well, shows he doesn't really know much. One thing we do know, though, of course, is the Snap Fitness community vote. Usually, you guys are pretty on point as you were in the last matchup. 71% to 29% in favor of Order, and that is probably about right. I would say 70% to 30%, but again, you know, we're just being a little bit pedantic there, guys. It's pretty spot on. I think Order definitely the firm favorites, and 70-30% though kind of suggests that Order are going to get all 3 points.
Yeah, probably the case. Thanks, Dev, for highlighting the Syria gates. I know you're wanting me to talk about them. Why do you bring them to the table and using that to double deny the entries on the CEO windows? Don't know where the third gate was placed. Maybe top yellow. I have to guess.
Or Dev's hunting.
No. There you go, top stairs. Thanks, Devi. Love you. Can we get a nod, Dev? Can we get a nod? Oh no. Oh, he said XO. Aw, that's cute.
Does he know how to nod?
That was always as cute as his kiss last time. Almost.
Oh. Very good-looking fellows, the guys at OCN.
Well, most of them.
Oh, most of them. Most of them.
Yeah, that Xenox guy's a bit.
Yeah, a little bit average. Just weighing the team down. Order on the attack here on Consulate. RoflcopterGG on the defense. Get underway here for our third match of the night, which has been a mixed bag so far. No OT, no crazy long matches that are going back and forth, and it's just been the favorites winning out. Knights, of course, in the first matchup against Bliss, and then after that was
below on OJ.
Was Chiefs. OJ takes a bit of damage and
How's he
almost gets
alive?
forced into the window of Joker. OJ's able to just stay in this bathroom for the time being, although
He's still
keeps
alive.
just taking so much damage from below.
Oh, no.
Nate's going to be the one that actually dies
What?
to Campo.
So Nate
What's
was
going
outside
on?
the window applying the pressure from below, and then Campo just swings benches and gives him the old good night. And now OJ's still positioned inside of bathroom, and he's probably not going to have a massive impact in this round. Should be taken down quite quickly. But this has been a massive time sink for Order. We're almost 2 minutes into the round, and they still haven't cleared this player.
Still a minute to go. OJ is low for the remainder of this game.
Oh,
Campo's got
Campo.
a second one from main stairs. Got the initial kill onto Nate. Now he catches Joker. And there's a third one on the map as well. Bouncing's going to get Ippy style. Order's attack is, well, just been torn to shreds.
RoflcopterGG just playing this like an absolute diamond ranked game right now, not allowing Order anywhere near the interior of the building. All 3 picks outside. Jack Dad might be the first player to properly step foot inside the building, but he'll be contested at the top of the stairs. Cutie meanwhile actually found his way deep, but Campo, he has a big round and bouncing to close things off.
Well, if Order are going to get all 3 points, they're going to have to attack better than that. But full credit to RoflcopterGG, as he said, the way that they were playing, making it very difficult for Order to get actually inside the building. I mean, and you know, usually getting inside of the building is a good thing, right? It's how you get the diffuser down. It's how you win rounds. So why not stop them from getting inside the building? Good start for RoflcopterGG on the board, nice and early. Should probably mention, though, that Consulate, especially compared to some of the other maps, has been played a bit more defender-sided. So a 4-2 for RoflcopterGG might actually even be expected.
Is it really?
Well, yeah, I'm looking at the stats. 58% defender-sided.
Is that based? That would be based on just last night, right?
May have forgot about that part.
Yeah. I wouldn't read too much into that. I mean,
I may have forgot about that part.
yeah, no. It's an interesting discussion point. I mean, we have seen some maps like Coastline, for example, feel like they've trended a little bit more defender-sided.
It's because it has 58% on Coastline too.
Yeah, Consulate, at least historically, especially some sites like above, have just been incredibly attacker-sided. There's just been no way of getting yourselves in these rounds. But a couple of the other sites maybe are opening up a little bit more, and teams on the defense playing very aggressive and just denying teams from entering the map. And as cheesy as that sounds, as much as it looks like a ranked game, it can actually genuinely work out. So if Ruffle continue to bring this aggression and the heat outside of the building and prevent Order from getting footholds, who knows? Maybe this could end up being defender-sided. I wouldn't put it past this season of OCN.
I mean, it also comes down to the way the teams play it, right? I mean, as you said, we've only got really 1 match to go off, so I probably retract a little bit of what I said because of that. It's my bad. Looked at the percentage first before I actually looked at the games played. Completely forgot. We've only seen Consulate once, which is strange because it's a map you would expect to see a little bit more often, but it's the nature of best of ones in a season, I guess. And you are right in what you were saying before. Attacker can be decent above. But the way RoflcopterGG are playing this is going to make it very difficult for Order. And if it proves to be successful, then it is going to be another defender-sided Consulate. So screw the stats.
Campo looking in form at the moment, but I'm kind of hoping he doesn't kill Nate. I wouldn't mind seeing Fuse get to work here on the floor. It's an operator that, of course, doesn't see a whole lot of play in competitive. With all of that floor being destructible, Nate can send the hockey pucks down below, clear utility rather than maybe...
Utility.
Maybe find a fatality. I think those are the 2 words that I was combining. That could be a potential play. I wouldn't mind seeing that payoff.
Don't see Fuse too often. I mean, how many times is the defending team just going to be sitting on site? I mean, you're right. You can clear the utility, also known as utility. See how it plays out. And yeah, look, I'm intrigued. Still got another floor to go as well below this one. So apparently just in waiting. Minute 18 seconds too. And I mean, they haven't got much presence on the first floor, let alone basement.
Beauty with the Gemini down yellow. We'll spot Campo, who's yet to find a kill in this round. Played the Mozzie in the last and found 3. One of those with the C4 as well. Boydie taking that operator in this round. Boydie now looking to establish control above. Nate still with 4 cluster charges deep in those big pockets. Will start to unleash hull upon this site. No one can sit behind White Van. No one can sit pipes. They all have to sit deep. And this could facilitate a plant.
Gemini went in actually from Cutie first before actually going in with the diffuser with Jack Dad. So they are going in. Summer Charge went out too, as I could see on the utility on the right-hand side of the screen. 20 seconds left here. Order. This round is suiting them a lot more than the prior one. Campo's going to go down to Nate. Ippy drops down service and is immediately eliminated by bouncing coming down the service stairs. Now pushing in through the cafeteria. 5 seconds left. Diffuser is not down. And it's only Cutie that's left. I don't know how this has just turned on its head. I think Boyder over at Yellow Stairs actually denying the plant earlier. We missed it, but wow. Second round in a row now for RoflcopterGG.
That round there it didn't even feel like it was that bad of a situation for Order. They had control above. They used the fuse to clear garage, and I thought from there they would go for a hatch, not a hatch, a garage breach plant. And I think they maybe tried to overcomplicate it a little bit. We saw Ippy Style trying to pinch from behind. He got shut down. A couple of other players towards yellow and peaks at the breach also shut down. And it felt like that plan sort of wilted a little bit there at the closing stages. So fortunate there for Order, who couldn't commit to the plan and pull it off fully. But props to Roffle. They're bringing the heat. They're hitting their shots and not really giving Order a whole lot of hope in some of these rounds.
Long way to go. Order's the kind of team as well that's versatile. Can get back into matches that they're seemingly out of. But it's good signs for RoflcopterGG, of course. They're playing for their playoff lives here. They've got a lot that they've got to fight for. And you know, you said before that it's not going to be on the players' minds, but coming into the match, they should obviously know what is required for them to secure playoffs. Sure, they're not thinking about it while they're in the games, but they do have an awareness of what needs to happen. So, got to go out there, though, and make it happen. And not only that, but a statement win. If you defeat Order, going into the playoffs, in a similar manner to Chiefs, you're finding that form at the right time for RoflcopterGG's sake. And how about Order, though? The fact that they can either finish first or fifth, I mean, that just summarizes OCN as in a nutshell.
It all comes down to the 7th and final best of 1 of stage 1. We saw in the prep phase there, Boydie with the black mirrors using those downstairs. They're being watched currently in preparation for a west side push across the map. Bouncing as well. He's playing Oryx. He'll be able to bounce around the map and play quite aggressively. Even Campo as well on Pulse, facilitating that information gathering as well. So they are bringing really frustrating lineups to play against. They're not necessarily util heavy, but they're gaining a lot of information and denying it as well. In fact, to be fair, it's probably actually a balance of utility and also information, because Castle and Mirror can cause a lot of issues and soak a lot of that up for the attack as well.
I feel like right now, RoflcopterGG are setting the tempo in this match here on Consulate. They're the ones that are just making things happen. That's better from Nate, though. And it's something that Order need, a bit more aggression and a little bit more pushing.
Bit of
OJ finds one elsewhere on the map, though, onto Joker. Yeah, bit of oomph. That's a second EE1D out from Nate. Only one left in his back pocket. Minute 20 left on the clock. As the admin office hatch has now been opened up. Ipistar looking to create that sight line. That's the final charge out now from Nate. Not sure if really much was created with it.
I guess they've used it early to gather some map control, and they have a decent presence around the site now. Might hamper them in the execute if the defenders are allowed to run around quite freely. Campo in particular on the bottom floor, gathering that intel, will want to be able to move quite freely, and Nate just forgets that someone might be in the site. Hot shot with a C4 is the one to eventually finish that kill. And now Roffle, out of nowhere, they have a significant man advantage bouncing. He's bouncing around the walls, never mind the balls, and Ipistar and Jack Dad are now left to clutch up.
You were saying about Consulate and not being defender-sided or something. It's about to be 3-0 to Roffle. And convincingly as well. Order are just in disarray right now. Jack Dad's going to be out. The two nice little slow swing / peek from bouncing. As you said, bouncing around the map. And in the end, it's now a 3-0 start for RoflcopterGG.
The style of play that Roffle are bringing to the table right now is, again, people in chat are probably saying this is gold ranked Siege, but honestly, they're going into this with a smart gameplay. They're just like, hey, let's run around, be aggressive, play annoying operators, and just keep annoying Order. That's their game plan. There's probably some stronger language I would like to use here, but we're going to keep it family friendly. And it's already forced Order into the early tack pause. We're 3 rounds in, and Order are already going, lads, we got to sort this out because this is not going very well.
That's so. If I'm on RoflcopterGG right now, I'm probably ruffling at that, right? It's like we're in their heads. We've already got them to force out attack pause. 3 rounds in, you know you're doing something right. You've gone around the world as well defensively here on Consular, and you're heading back over to CO meeting. This is just the perfect start to a must-win match. RoflcopterGG in the heads of Order. Can Order respond though? And this is what makes you a great team, guys, if you can respond here. Yes, RoflcopterGG may be playing a little bit unconventionally. That's fine. You've got to be versatile in OCN. You know that there's a few teams that play unconventionally. Order have got to respond here. It's up to them.
Just envisioning a scenario now where Order bounce back and equal out the half. Imagine how smart that would look to take the tack pause now and have the ability to reset, freshen up the game plan, and form a response. That would be a very admirable effort.
The Gridlock 6 pick onto the Yana, so faking the flank defense, but then getting off of it.
I'd have to assume that they're just prioritizing the nades over anything else. Gridlock, in general, doesn't really see a whole lot of play in outside of the smokes. Probably not that useful. The track stingers probably not going to dissuade the defenders from playing too aggressively. So not too unusual there, and Yana, in fact, has actually seen quite a bit of play in this stage. I've got to say, we've even seen the occasional ban here and there across some of the APAC leagues and OCN. Should be a comfort pick for Nate.
Nate's a good talking point now as well, because obviously comes in on the Mondays and always does a really solid job, and even got MVP last week. Not having Specker in though, and sort of, it's not a case of which ones or which player's better. I feel like they both do different things and bring different things to Order. Maybe this is the sort of game though against an opponent like Roffle where you would actually rather have Specker though.
Maybe. That said,
He's
Specker
got that,
at least
that magical box.
Yeah, true, but Specker recently at least has really been struggling on entry. Like, his entry stats have been pretty bad compared to normal.
Whoa.
So, hey, I think Specker would even win in a couple of those games.
It's 95% mental.
Yeah, true. And he has actually come up strong. In a lot of those matches, he has recovered. So, not throwing too much shade there. He's still obviously a great player and has a lot of experience. But, yeah, you want to be switched on in the frag department here, especially if you're on Order. 0-3 down. Not really any look in any of those 3 rounds. Struggling to obtain any semblance of map control and struggling to get picks on the board. There's been, what, 4 kills for Order in the first 3 rounds? Not ideal.
I have to say, going into the playoffs, if RoflcopterGG can go on and obviously win this match, they go into playoffs. have they maybe played their hand a little bit early? Are they going to be able to get Consulate in the playoffs? It isn't going to be best of 1, so yeah, best of 3. But I don't know. I just surely think there's not going to be many teams that are going to want to play Roflcopter and Consulate after seeing this.
Well, the thing is, in a best of 3, a lot of teams will almost treat it like a best of 1 in the sense that the Decide is really the important map, and if you manage to steal the opponents, then you'll take it. Then maybe teams will give up the Consulate, just knowing that Rof will take it and they'll back themselves in their 2 maps, but others might not want to take the risk, and that's why Campo been looking incredibly strong. There's a player on the rappel. Might have seen the hat there. Who is it? It's Cutie on the buck. I think the Beady has saved him there.
Ippy finds one back elsewhere on the map. There's a second from the birthday boy and Jack Dad. I wanted to save that sort of birthday boy phrase for later in the game, but I'm not sure if it's going to come here because Order are struggling. I'm not sure if that moment will arrive for Jack Dad. 3 versus 2 though. A slight advantage as Ippy can now stick the plant with 30 seconds remaining, and Order have at least got a semblance of control around the site. OJ close to Cutie and Campo over at the top yellow stairs.
OJ playing the skinny position at the long dash, swings and finds one, but Nate cuts off the rotate. Leaves it in the hands of OJ. Neither player on the attack has made it to a rappel, I don't believe. So they need to be careful that they don't throw this round away, but it's Nate to find yet another and Order get their first attack on the board.
Maybe there's something in that attack pause after all. Is Order a 1 and zip since the attack pause? There's only been 1 round, but I'm still right.
100% win rate after
100%.
attack pause, so
exactly.
Cannot argue with the stats. Cannot argue.
Big round to win as well, because you have that attack pause. If you lose the round after that, not only did Roflcopter go 4-0, but the attack pause is almost end for naught, right? Because you still lost the round after that. You haven't really been able to reset the mental and get back into it. Roflcopter have just then kept going. So big round win for Order. And in terms of the sort of repercussions for them, I mean, they need to win this game. Like, if they allow Roflcopter to win out and get all 3 points, Order finish 5th, and as you've said, then there's the gauntlet ramifications later on in the playoffs that are not going to be kind for Order. I mean, there's, I think, a chance then. Does first play 5th? Is that how it works? I haven't actually looked into it.
For the gauntlet?
But it might... Well, yeah.
Well, it'll be, the first round will be 5th versus 4th, and then it's
right.
single elim up until the end where the first team awaits, if that makes sense. And then each stage you're versing the team above.
Look, I'm going to be completely honest. I haven't really looked too far ahead because we've still got tonight. There was
That's
already too much on my plate tonight.
Someone here's done their homework, so
jeez.
I'm in the good books, and you're in detention.
Actually, no, I'm fine. I did my homework for tonight, so I'm happy.
Even production's saying that I'm their favorite, which we all knew that anyway. But all right, let's head into round number 5. Let's quit fluffing around because these teams are taking it pretty seriously. And Voidy with a serious hold here inside of Bathroom. 2 mute jammers used to reinforce the walls. Actually, yeah, 3 to also deny intel. A couple of ADS devices as well. A sweaty hold on the garage breach as well, with 2 electro claws being pinged out. And again, this is just frustrating for Order to deal with. They'll need to take time, do their due diligence, not get taken out by what I can only assume it will be a couple of roamers wreaking havoc, and it's not the easiest to juggle.
This is where Order need to keep the tempo going, though. You've had your attack timeout, you've got your round win, but you've just got to keep it going. Cheeky little ping from Jack Dad. A little slow to get off the mark, but he's now found 2 kills on the board. Still donuts for both Cutie and Joker, so right now it's Nate once again who's doing a lot of the heavy lifting, 5 and 3. And it's not surprising that the dude has been playing so well, considering he doesn't even really get to play full-time with the team. Minute and a half. Order looking to clear out this utility, open up these walls. They've gotten 1 claw, but they've got to get it 1 more, ideally. But they can at least get to work now on one side of the garage.
Good work there from Jack Daddy. The Sun was creating a nice line of sight deep in towards garage, and good utility clear from Order will now allow the southern side of the wall to be opened as well. It's a nice channel in towards the front of White Van where Jack Daddy can consider a plant. But in a 5 versus 5, they'll need to establish the crossfires and make sure they have ample control as the smokes will fly out.
And it's still got plenty of time for it. This has been a much better approach from Order. Probably a more conventional attacking approach. We haven't really seen RoflcopterGG try to do anything too crazy either. So they themselves have also played quite defensive. This is going to allow Jack Dad to get the plant in front of this black car. Bouncing gets one as a trade elsewhere. Shield still up. Cutie coming in from behind now can actually just flank and gets all 3. Catching 2 in cafeteria, I should say. Boydie getting torn to shreds above as well in press room, and this round has probably gotten away from RoflcopterGG, and well, if they're not careful, they can allow Order right back into this game. Bouncing little shoulder peek comes back. Still 20 seconds left, but his teammate Boydie is extremely low on health to be able to help out in a 2 versus 4. Not gonna happen. Jack Dad will shut down Bouncing. Boydie goes for the desperate play. Not gonna happen as well. Stuck in Gardens, and Order make it 3-2.
In what would appear to be, at least so far, a stroke of tactical genius, Order have managed to halt the momentum of Roffle, get 2 rounds back, and now positioned very, very nicely to equalize out a half that was not going their way at the beginning. That last round, a nice clean execute. They set it up with plenty of time, and once that plant goes down in Garage, arguably one of the hardest to retake in the entire comp pool. So definitely going to win it from there, and they do in fact seal the deal.
So split archive tellers to close out this first half, in which RoflcopterGG got off to an incredible start, and they looked almost unstoppable. Attack timeout couldn't come at a better time from Order now. Looking back on it, as he said, stroke of genius. Can they close that out? In fairness, though, I think we both agree a 4-2 half in favor of RoflcopterGG actually wouldn't have seemed too bad for Order after those first 3 rounds. I would have thought, hey, that's not bad. They'd probably be happy with that. But now that this close and the way that they're tracking the last 2 rounds, you'd have to say that they really want to just tie this up 3-3. They've got the momentum.
It does feel as if their explosive, aggressive playstyle has either slowed down a little bit, or it's being better countered by their opponents of Order. Either way, it just doesn't feel like it's having the same oomph as it really did in the first few rounds, and it is a little bit concerning, but I don't want to get too far in my head. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself as I get ahead of myself in that sentence. I don't even know what I'm spitting out at this point.
Where'd you go?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm letting production's kind words get to my head, I think. Phone me off.
So final round of the half. Order. If you've just joined us, it was RoflcopterGG who got off to an amazing start, 3 in a row, and then Order have got the last 2 since that timeout. They look to close out the half now. Here on Archives and Tellers. Split site here on Consulate. Which it's been fun to watch Consulate play out, because the way that RoflcopterGG have been playing, it's maybe not possible on other maps. And so far, their defense has been a lot of fun to watch, has slowed down, and obviously hasn't been as aggressive in the last 2 rounds, but it's been a treat to watch, and RoflcopterGG as a team are a lot of fun to watch, and in a way, you almost hope to see them in the playoffs. Rhythm don't.
Yeah. It's often easy to forget that RoflcopterGG are only in this league off the back of an open qualifier. They are arguably the least experienced in the league, outside of maybe equal to Rhythm. OJ, he steps up though. Gets the opener in this round onto Joker. It's a nice C4 pick. Inside of front office, and that's what you want to see with 2 C4s still in the bank.
Yeah, started with 4, 2 in hand. Most importantly, Campo is also the one that still has one available on the pulse. OJ is flushed out by Cutie. Ties things back up 4-4. But as I mentioned, those C4s could play a pretty vital part to close out this round. The fact that RoflcopterGG still have 2 in hand with a minute left is really strong. The fact that Campo is one of them who has one too. If you just catch someone standing a little too still for a little too long, they will go boom boom.
5 seconds left. Order setting up for a take. Above, they need to be mindful of the denial as Cutie shuts down hot shot, bounce and shut down as well, but there's still 2 C4s. Can
Can't
they
catch
hit
him
the
there.
mark? It's Campo from below.
We can.
Oh, it still hits the mark. It's a double
What?
kill. I don't know how it had the range, but he manages to pull it off. Nate now, he's in the 1 versus 2 as Jack Daddy's being down. Can they retake the site and win the round?
I thought it'd be safe up there. I mean, Order seemed like they thought they'd be safe up there. Nate, the sub, the super sub for Order. In a 1 versus 2, both Campo and Boydie down below, coming up service stairs now. 30 seconds, so obviously for Roflcopter, they are going to have to move quickly now. Of course, can't get the trade here. Nate gives away his position, and of course now they're going to swing out together. Boydie comes in a little late, using the door perfectly though from Nate. Boydie surely doesn't whiff this one. This is played out perfectly from Nate. They're both struggling to kill each other. Oh, somehow Boydie wins it. I don't think either of them deserve to win it, but hey, someone has to come out on top. What a mess.
We can take this 7 seconds on the counter defuse to just sink in what's happened. In fact, he actually only just got it off in time. I wasn't looking at the timer, but... well, I think Nate just panicked because he knew he probably didn't have enough ammo to finish him off. Then he switched guns and... let's just go to the break.
Yeah, what a crazy way to close out the half, and the little dance-off Guz. It was interesting. That's probably the word. Let's watch it back one more time here. I thought maybe Nate had an opportunity, but Boydie somehow clutches out.
So what happened there is Nate realizes that he's not going to be able to kill him with his primary. Switches to the Gon 6 once, switches back to his primary, whiffs again, dances around the pillar, only to whip out the Gon 6 once again. He then shoots and I believe made contact with the opposition player and almost managed to kill him with the gun. And then when that didn't hit the mark, he got taken down by the shotgun. And then the counter defuse was pulled off with like a second and a half to go. So, wow. I was, very much trying not to completely lose it and just burst out with laughter. I think I did in the end anyway, but that was just one of the ugliest rounds of Siege I think I've ever watched in my life. And I have played a lot of ranked with Dev, and I've seen a lot of ugly Siege, so that is definitely a big call there. But nonetheless, it does end out the half, of course. We're back now, and Rofl, they're on the attack with the lead, and I want to try and capitalize.
And probably a deserved 4-2 half, I'll say that. I mean, I know Order were coming back, and they'd won the last 2 rounds prior, but for the most part, you got to give credit to Roflcopter for their first 3 attacking rounds. The way they played, they were... maybe not clean. Clean's not the right word, but they were entertaining, and they deserved the first 3 rounds thoroughly, and probably in the end deserved 4-2, as the scoreline currently indicates. Order on the defense, and well, you know, there was a little discussion at the start of the game. Is consensus attack? Is it even? Well, right now it's going to have to be defender-sided for Order if they are going to be able to come back and win.
Basement defense here for round number 1. E1D rains out. That's the first from Campo on the Lion. Roflcopter looking to take control above. Not really contested by any roamers, I don't believe. So not too much of an issue at the moment. It'd be style. He's inside of antechamber. Maybe looking to make a play. There's a player on the upside down rappel, but neither of these players engaging at the moment. It'd be style going to sit inside of bathroom. But he doesn't actually have any utility covering him, so it will be a challenge when we'll try and clear him later.
Opening frag for Roflcopter. Nice and, well, not nice and early, but early in the final minute. Giving them the slight advantage for now, although Order from here probably still pretty happy with the way things have played out. Not anymore. Bouncing getting cutie. Talk about finding an angle. Nate at least gets one back with the C4. They open up this garage wall yet, though. I think they just got the claws. But yes, they got the claws. Now they open up the garage. 35 seconds left. 4 versus 3 in favor of RoflcopterGG, looking to extend their lead here on Consulate.
Oh, Nate, he needs to stay alive, but he gets taken down. It's really on the shoulders of Jack that in this round. If the Yokars can have a big impact, they might be able to delay enough time. But with 20 seconds, Rofl, even if they really had to, could send it deep.
15 seconds left. Hot shot is now going to stick the plank. Campo is his bodyguard, quite literally. Joker's going to be eliminated by Bouncing, who's got 3 for the round. Give him the quad, where he deserves it. It'll put him on double-digit kills. It's the Campo and Bouncing show right now, and he gets it with a headshot pistol. 5-2 lead for RoflcopterGG. They are storming towards the playoffs and just about ready to put order in that 5th position.
Woo! All right, Rofl stepping up here in round number 2 and pushing away any doubt that their attack would be weak, at least in that first instance. Nice cheeky plant and a good finish off there by Bouncing, pistol in hand. Order now looking to respond. Critical playoff positions on the line for them. I'll switch things up, head us over to Lobby Press. And this, Xenox, will be the first time we even see this site make an appearance.
Defenders, protect your bomb.
Well, where to here for order, though? I guess Lobby Press is the answer, but where to in terms of the match as a whole, because they really just don't have a grip on it, a grasp on handling the situation here, which is this RoflcopterGG presence. They are absolutely destroying order right now on Consulate. How can they turn things around? How can they get themselves that top spot? Even if they get an OT win, they will be able to still jump right up the standings and secure themselves a pretty decent placing. At least better than 5th. That's at minimum. If they get an OT win, they at least guarantee 2nd place. So any sort of win for order is either 1st or 2nd. But they've got to come back and they've got to stop RoflcopterGG. The other part of this as well, I should actually mention this. This is a really big fact. But RoflcopterGG win this round, Guz, and they're in the playoffs. So there's that. I should have probably mentioned that earlier. This is basically match point, or I guess you could say playoff point.
Playoff point, hey. Will they claim that point though? Looks like OJ will drone ahead for the team. Top down take. Sweep across the map if you would. Beginning inside of admin. It's Bouncing to lead the charge. 10 kills in this map so far. Boydie alongside on the soft breach. Not really much to talk about, at least on this side of the map. The real fun will come when these players begin to try and take long desk and meeting. They'll be contested by Joker, who had the shotgun in hand. Keep that in mind. And Impy Style inside of the connector. 2 very dangerous gunners here, but neither of them having the best of days on Consulate.
I think really the team as a whole not having a good outing on Consulate. Well, Impy just gets tagged up a bunch.
The subs top fragging.
Yeah. Well, not for the first time, though, for Order. Though last week it was fine because they actually won. This time it's not fine. Impy's gone. Nate, at least with the immediate trade, at least on the C4 kill for Bouncing going out. As I said, I mean, if Rhythm are watching, which you would kind of assume Rhythm are watching, they know that their playoff lifeline is in the hands of Order here. They cannot allow RoflcopterGG to win this round. If RoflcopterGG get to 6 at any point, they are into the playoffs. If Order win the next 5 rounds in a row, what heartbreak that would be for Rofl, and keeps Rhythm's playoffs hopes alive. But Order, of course, it's not end of the world. If they do lose this, they are, of course, still in the playoffs. That's already locked in, but they will be 5th. Not ideal for the gauntlet. 45 seconds left in the round. Final EE1D charge has been deployed by Campo. So RoflcopterGG going to leave this to the final seconds, which should play out in the favor of Order.
Good vertical control here from Rofl, but it's dislodged by Nate, who's having such A huge map. An awkward nade there from Boydie. Also narrowly misses a potential frag. Oh! Plant is teased and hot shot looks like a stick.
Located by attackers.
What are they going to sweep onto this? Surely. No, they don't. Cutie and Nate, how did they both die so quickly? Jacked out to cover, but unfortunately, he's immediately traded by Campo. Fortunately, Joker's still there. Finds his first frag. Can you believe it, off the map? Boydie left down to 1 versus 1, just like he was prior to the break.
Oh,
Oh, no! Oh, no!
Oh!
How have you allowed this to happen? Boydie gets him anyway! And Roflcopter are going to the playoffs! And they've got match point. But hey, they're going to the playoffs.
Great work there from Ruffle. It was a bit of a tight round in the end, but they closed things out.
What is this game?
Welcome to Consulate, Xenox. This is
Welcome to OCN.
yeah. Nuts. Very, very nuts.
Oh, there's so much now. If Ruffle win this 7-2, there's so much. So what this does, it confirms Chiefs will have the highest round differential. It will confirm that Knights will take top spot for the season. It will confirm Roflcopter will secure themselves 4th spot and Order 5th spot, and Rhythm will not make playoffs. That has already been confirmed though, but of course the others depending on this match point from here on out. Wow. What a match from Roflcopter, the Vernset, and what a way to stamp their authority going into the playoffs. And I guess based on the gauntlet, these two teams are going to be playing each other again? You've done the homework apparently, guys.
But if Ruffle wins this round and wins the map, that would place them
4th. They go 4th, or to go 5th.
And I think they would, yeah. Wait, I'm not going to make these big calls. You know, I don't want to speak out of line, make any mistakes on broadcast. That's not my style. I'm, 110% perfect. But either way, there's a fair chance we'll see them play off again in the gauntlet. If they do, and this is what we're lined up for, well, hold on to your seats because that's going to be a banger.
Would Order take Roflcopter to Consulate though in the gauntlet?
Well, it goes down to that philosophy in the map veto. If Order completely back themselves in their map pick and like the decider, then Consulate in the end, if it gets through, won't be the end of the world. But maybe Order won't be totally confident and don't want to take that risk.
So many questions, so many answers, of course, to play out in the OCN playoffs. We've got all our teams now secured. And from here on out, of course, there is still one more match to be played, but that now kind of becomes, well, it definitely becomes a dead rubber, other than one simple fact that Rhythm will be looking to find their first regular time win of the season. Outside of that, though, the season is done. EE1D goes out from Campo. Boy with the nade is going to find Nate. Advantage Roflcopter in both match point and now in game, 5 versus 4.
Similar entry point here for Ruffle over towards admin. Utility invested from the defense, but I don't think anyone's playing behind that mirror window at the moment. Joker's really the last left above, and it's a last-ditched effort to push back the inevitable attack. Nate was dropped in this round, so that's a great start for Ruffle. Nate really the massive player for Order in this matchup. Everyone else going negative and struggling to get their name on the board. Nate with a banger. Campo, meanwhile, looking to progress this control aboves, but he's used all of his E1Ds, so maybe Joker could pose a threat above.
Minute left of the round. Joker, can he find? Oh, surely he gets that one. I mean, that was as easy as it's probably been all night for Joker, because it hasn't been easy. Bouncing just giving him prime opportunity. 4 versus 4. Immediately goes back to the advantage of Roflcopter, and Joker's caught here at long desk, and he gets punished double from Campo, who's kind of just battling with Bouncing to be the top fragger for Roflcopter. 40 seconds left, and Order, I think, at this point have probably seen enough and are more than happy to move on to the gauntlet, where they seemingly will play Roflcopter again. Of course, that all to be confirmed later on. Ippy Style and Jack Dad now in a 2 versus 4 as they await Roflcopter's final attack. Potential final attack here on Consulate. Hot shot going for the plant. Gets off it, changes his position. No more C4s available. That was the final 2. Another kill for Campo. 3 in the round, 14 overall. What a performance. There's nothing Jack Dad can do from down below. Unfortunately, it's going to be a 7-2 win to Roflcopter. Guys, 7-2. Order will take the last spot in the playoffs as Roflcopter leapfrog above them.
Jack Daddy in a last-ditched effort pushes from benches, but there's a player at Spiral. The second he steps wide, he'll be sprayed down. Does cop a little bit of damage. That's a lost cause at this point. Just wants to go even, and he does. Now Jack Dad just needs to stay alive. He's going to keep hunting for kills, and there we go. He gets taken down. It's huge from Ruffle. It's a 7-2. Their biggest win in OCN comes in the final Playday. And my God, are these playoffs going to be spicy?
Well, just a quick glimpse of what the playoffs might be able to have for us. Roflcopter are through to their first OCN playoffs in their first season, guys, as well. 1 for 1. They have taken down Order emphatically on Consulate 7-2. It wasn't even close. The scoreline is just about right. It was that much of a stomping, and it was that one-sided. Look at that little Roflcopter there on your screen. They're going to the playoffs.
Ruffle.
Oh, no.
I guess now the question really is, are Roflcopter going to be a serious threat for playoffs, and how much of a serious threat are they going to be? Because it feels like when they're at their best, when they're playing ultra aggressive, some of the best teams, such as Order, do struggle to tame them. But on other occasions, they have looked quite sloppy and inconsistent. So I think the best of 3 really will expose any weaknesses that might be there. And on the maps that maybe they're not as strong on, you're going to find it pretty tough to get that win over the line. But focusing in on tonight, they were just almost flawless, really. And I guess the only rounds that Order won, you could probably attribute to that tack pause, because outside of that, Ruffle were just all over them.
I think it's almost unfair to sort of look ahead for Roflcopter. I think right now it's just about celebrate their regular season. They got into the playoffs. That would have been the goal for them, and they've achieved that goal. Whatever happens in the playoffs happens. Of course, we've seen throughout the history of OCS Siege that there are teams that can do well in the regular season, but then really just fall apart in the playoffs when it matters the most. And some teams that maybe scrape by to get into the playoffs that then suddenly take another step and perform really well in the playoffs. So there's so many different ways the playoffs can go, and that's why it's a conversation for when the playoffs happen. But full credit to Roflcopter in this match with Consulate. They looked really clean. Order themselves off the mark. I think that is 100% fair to say. Not the best Order we saw tonight, but a lot of that just came down to the way Roflcopter played. So that's full credit to Roflcopter. The stats back it up. Campo and Bouncing huge in their matches as well. I can't believe Hotshot only got 1 kill that whole game, considering Roflcopter's dominance. But, you know, one thing I do want to say, Nate, again, performing when it's called upon.
Yeah, if there's any light at the end of the tunnel for Order, it's that they have a pretty damn good sub on the roster. Nate, every time he steps into this team on a Monday, seems to show up. So thought maybe Spec will be a little bit nervous, but not to be dragged around too much. I think it's always good to have a solid addition to the team on the bench, and Nate seems to be facilitating that. And even when Order aren't looking amazing, he's still bringing some solid performances to the board, and who knows if they need to call upon him later. He's definitely a viable option.
Definitely could be, and I think as a whole, it's really nice that they've got that sort of 6th player, right? And I think in the future, and even in the present, it makes them a formidable team. Not so much tonight, though. Their opponent's too good. Let's go and have a chat with the man of the hour, Boydie, who had some pretty big plays. 2 big clutches, Boydie. Congratulations, firstly, on the win. Congratulations also on playoffs secured. Especially you guys in your first season coming into the OCN. Huge feat. Cannot understate that. Big ups. But in terms of the game itself, I just have to ask you about the 1v1 with Nate. What was going through your mind there before halftime?
Was that the one in Visa? Which one was it?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, look,
the first one. What's the first one? When you were playing Mirror.
If it's the one I think. Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah, look, we had 20 bullets. Knew we had going 6. Just very poor aim from either side, I would say. Very interesting 1v1, to say the least.
Yeah, I guess, to be honest, honestly, there's not much to talk about that match. You basically just smashed order. Looking forward to the playoffs. Best of 3 format. A question that I posed earlier in the night to the Knights was, how's your map pool looking? Because obviously you can't get away with as much of a weaker map pool as you would in the best of 1. How are you guys actually feeling heading into that?
Best of 1, it's very easy to predict what maps you're going to be playing. Like, most teams only have 3 map pool that they show so far in OCN. I feel like we will still be comfortable, though, heading into playoffs with best of 3s. It will be a lot more enjoyable to play as well.
I have to ask, coming into the season, was the sort of internal goal to just make playoffs and then whatever happens from there happens, and there's not too much weight put behind that?
There never really was much weight, like pressure to begin with. There's no relegations till end of the year. Like, just playing for money right now and bragging rights, I guess, in playoffs.
Cool. I think you've wrapped it up pretty well. All I'll say is good luck in the gauntlet. I think it's going to be pretty fierce competition, and if it's anything like the regular season, you boys have a really, really good chance to go all the way.
Thank you very much.
Pretty short, sharp, sort of like the match,
Yeah.
which was short and sharp as well. Clean, and Boydie obviously having some pretty big moments there as well for his team, which, as we've mentioned a few times now on the broadcast, have secured themselves that playoff position, which isn't too surprising. They started the season with a bit of a banger, guys. They got off to a good start, the old Roflcopter, and were able to finish strong. And I think that the biggest thing would have been, prior to the whole Diesel situation, you would have said who would come out. You'd probably drop Roflcopter out for wildcard, and then you would have had your top 5. But with wildcard situation, someone had to take their spot, and I think Roflcopter have deserved it.
Roffle are a really dangerous team heading into the playoffs. Playday 2, they took down the Knights, and then they've just taken down Order 7-2. The only asterisk for them really was in Playday 5, when they dropped an overtime loss to Bliss, who are really in the mix now for playoffs. So I think it's a testament to the fact that if, again, like we've said a bazillion times, it feels like now, if Roffle show up in the playoffs, have the map pool depth, have the confidence in reading their opponents, like Boydie seems to think that they do, they could go the whole way. There's no doubt.
Well, unfortunately for Order, their chance at top spot has come crashing down, and so much so that they find themselves now in 5th place, and might have another date with Roflcopter sometime soon. We're going to go to a break. When we come back, there's still one more match to close out the regular season for OCN. We will see whether or not Rhythm can get their first regular season win.